Welcome back to the lecture series of Tribology and Terotechnology. I am Neha Joshi, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Let us carry our fourth chapter, that is hydrostatic and squeeze film lubrication slot. In today's session, we will cover different topics like types and configuration of hydrostatic bearing, then what is circular step thrust bearing, then a rectangular thrust bearing and hydrostatic journal bearing. First of all, we will discuss about the different types of hydrostatic bearing. What is hydrostatic bearing? What are the different kinds of hydrostatic bearing? With various arrangement of slots and bearing geometric, hydrostatic bearing can be designed to carry axial load, radial loads and combined of thrust radial load, as you can see here in the figure. Okay, now figure A and figure B show the configuration of thrust and journal bearing respectively. Okay, figure C which indicate a hybrid. Okay, what is the hybrid? Hybrid means which is the combination of thrust and journal bearing, and the figure D is a spherical bearing that find its use when misalignment is one of the concern. Okay, so it is worth noting that in almost every design of hydrostatic bearing, which is shown in the figure, the multi-slot, also known as the recesses or pockets, have been used. The multiple recesses, typically 4 to 6 in journal bearing, hydrostatic bearing can support a asymmetric loading. Generally, depth of recess is taken as a 0.5 mm greater than the film thickness. Okay, so these are the different types of hydrostatic bearing. Now, first of all, we will discuss about this circular step thrust bearing. Okay. Now, circular step thrust bearing are commonly used in supporting large vertical shaft in turbo generator. Okay. There are most of the common types of hydrostatic thrust bearing. Okay. Now, you can see here in the figure, flat plate thrust bearing with a single lubricant supply at a feed pressure which is PS and recess pressure which is PR. Okay, so feed pressure means PS and recess pressure means PR. In the present heading, load capacity, flow requirement, stiffness and power loss are described. Reduction in power loss, which depends on the flow rate, supply, pressure and speed of the slider, is of special interest in the design of large hydrostatic thrust bearing. The stiffness of the hydrostatic bearing is of unique importance for centering of high precision milling machine, gyroscope, large arena movable, sitting areas and telescope bearing at extra. Now, to derive the pressure distribution for a circular step thrust bearing, consider the equation delta by delta x h cube by eta del p by del x plus del by del z h cube by eta into del p by del z is equal to 0. This is the Reynolds equation that we have derived previous. In cylindrical coordinates, this equation can be written as d by dr into r h cube by eta dp by dr, which is equal to 0. Now consider this equation is equation 1. By integrating this equation, we get r into h cube by eta dp by dr is equal to C1. Okay, where C1 is equal to the constant of integration. Now, on rearranging this equation, we get dp is equal to eta divided by r into h cube C1 into dr. Okay, so further we integrate this equation. So we get the integration dp is equal to eta upon h cube C1 into integration 1 upon r dr plus C2. Okay. So finally we get P is equal to eta divided by h cube C1 ln r plus C2. This is equation 2. Now to boundary condition, P is equal to PR at r is equal to R1 and P is equal to 0 at r is equal to capital R2. We can use to find out the constant C1 and C2. Now to derive the pressure distribution. Okay, so finally we get PR is equal to eta upon h cube C1 ln R1 plus C2. Okay, so 0 is equal to eta upon h cube C1 ln R2 plus C2. Okay, by putting the value equation to boundary condition, we get the value of C1. C1 is equal to PR h cube upon eta ln R1 by R2. This is equation 3. then C2 is equal to minus PR ln R2 by R1 into R2. This is equation 4. Now by putting this equation in final equation P, we can get the equation P. P is equal to PR H cube upon eta ln R1 by R2 into ln R minus PR ln R2 by R1 into ln R2. So finally, by simplifying this, we can get P is equal to PR ln R by R2 divided by ln R1 by R2. Okay, so this is equation is the final equation for pressure development in the circular step thrust bearing. Now there are several applications. Now we will discuss about the rectangular thrust bearing. There are several applications where rectangular thrust bearing is used. Unlike circular step bearing, there are pressure gradients in rectangular thrust bearing both in X and Z direction. Okay, so rectangular thrust bearing has a pressure gradient in both X direction as well as in the Z direction, as you can see here in the diagram. Now we will develop the pressure development in the rectangular thrust bearing. Consider an incompressible fluid. The Reynolds equation for this type of bearing can be expressed as del by del x into h cube by eta into del p by del x plus del by del z into h cube by eta del p by del z is equal to 0. Now considering a constant film thickness along x and z axis, the above equation can be modified as del square by p del square p by del x square plus del square p by del z square is equal to 0. Now to solve this equation, pressure boundary condition are required. Okay, the pressure within the recess remains constant and equal to the recess pressure PR, which means at Z is equal to 0.5 into L minus A, fluid pressure P is equal to PR, and at X is equal to 0.5 into B minus B, fluid pressure P is equal to PR. It may be assumed that there is a negligible change of pressure over the lines in the direction of X-axis at the end of recess. Okay. So for example, if the length of the land in the bearing is much smaller than the width of the land, most of the fluid supplied to the bearing by the pump leaves by flowing from the recess over the lines in the direction of z-axis. Okay, so Reynolds equation can be reduced to z square p upon del square p upon del z square is equal to 0. Now on integrating equation 2 twice, we get P is equal to C1Z plus C2, where C1 and C2 are the constant of integration, which can be evaluated by the equation of boundary condition. Now what are the boundary condition? P is equal to PR at Z is equal to 0.5 into L minus A, and P is equal to 0 at Z is equal to 0.5 into L. Okay, now substituting the equation, this boundary condition, we get PR is equal to 0.5 L minus A plus C2 and 0 is equal to 0.5 L plus C2. Okay, so finally we get PR is equal to minus C1 into A and C1 is equal to minus PR by A. Now after substituting the value of constant, okay, we get P is equal to PR into A, PR divided by A into L by 2 minus Z. This is equation 7. Now we will discuss about the hydrostatic journal bearing. What is hydrostatic journal bearing? Hydrostatic journal bearing are useful to avoid metal to metal contact under a heavy static load condition. The hydrostatic journal bearing can be used in synchronized condenser, rolling mill, etc. The analysis of hydrostatic journal bearing is difficult as a film thickness, it is not uniform. To understand this, let us consider a hydrostatic lift mechanism, as you can see here in the diagram, in which E is shown as an eccentricity and H is a separation between the surface of journal and bearing. It is easier to represent eccentricity ratio, which is E by C. If the pressure and quantity of the flow rate are in the correct proportion, the journal will be raised and support on the oil film. When the shaft has settled in the bearing and has made metal to metal contact, the eccentricity ratio is 1. Okay, when the shaft and bearing are concentric, the eccentricity ratio is 0. In hydrostatic journal bearing, the film thickness H does not remain constant, but depends upon the angular position and eccentricity of the journal in the bearing. Now H is equal to given by H is equal to C 1 minus epsilon into cos theta. The two main types of hydrostatic journal bearings are multi-pad bearing and a number of thrust pad bearing with curved surface to form a cylindrical bearing surface. Okay, and second one is multi-recess bearing. The basic difference between the operation of multi-pad and multi-recess bearing is the drainage grooves that exist between the adjacent pad. The drainage grooves between the pads are region of low pressure and therefore contribute nothing to the bearing load capacity. A 4-recess hydrostatic journal bearing has been shown in the figure. The lubricant is supplied from a constant pressure manifold at a pressure PS passing through the restrictor in the drainage clearance space. The pressure PR1, PR2 and PR3 and PR4 changes from initial value to take up the net load on the journal. Now to derive the pressure distribution for this bearing, take the equation del by del x h cube by eta into del p by del x plus del by del z h cube by eta into del p by del z, which is equal to 0. For an isoviscous lubricant, okay, the equation is given as del by del x h cube del p by del x plus del by del z h cube into del p by del z, which is equal to 0. On non-dimensional dimension lines, using p bar is equal to p by ps, h bar is equal to h by cos theta, x which is equal to x by ri into z, which is equal to z upon 0.5i. Assuming bearing infinitely long and replacing x with r theta, we get del by del theta h bar cube into del p bar del theta by del theta plus 2r by L whole square del by del z bar into h cube bar del p bar divided by del z bar, which is equal to 0. As at the both end of the bearing pressure will be atmospheric, p bar into theta plus or minus 1 is equal to 0. Fluid pressure will be the maximum at the mid length of the bearing, which is equal to del p bar theta into 0 divided by del z bar is equal to 0. Now assuming the bearing is very long, so L by D is greater than 4 and the axial component of the flow can be neglected. The flow through an element slot is Q is equal to minus LH cube divided by 12 eta into dP by RD into theta. Now here L is the bearing length. On substituting expression of film thickness and rearranging, we can get the final equation P is equal to minus 12 eta into Q into R divided by L C cube into epsilon sin theta 4 minus epsilon square minus 3 epsilon cos theta into 2 1 minus epsilon square 1 minus epsilon cos theta plus 2 plus epsilon square 1 minus epsilon square raised to 5 by 2 tan inverse 1 plus epsilon divided by root of 1 plus epsilon square tan theta by 2 minus k1, where k1 is equal to epsilon sin theta L 4 minus epsilon square minus 3 epsilon cos theta L divided by 2 1 minus epsilon square 1 minus epsilon cos theta L whole square plus 2 epsilon square 1 minus epsilon square raised to 5 by 2 tan inverse 1 by plus epsilon under root divided by under root 1 plus epsilon square tan theta L by 2. Now we will discuss about the energy loss. What is energy loss? Hydrostatic bearing should be designed to minimize the energy losses. If the shaft rotates at angular speed, the power is required to overcome the viscous shear in the clearance space between the shaft and the bearing. In addition, the pumping power is required to circulate the fluid. Therefore, to minimize energy loss, power loss in pumping, the viscous liquid and viscous shearing should be minimized. The total power loss is the summation of power loss due to the friction and due to the pumping loss. Okay, so H total is given by the equation HV plus HP, where HV is equal to TW, which is equal to pi eta omega square divided by 2H R2 raised to 4 minus R1 raised to 4, and HP is equal to pi H cube PS into PR divided by 6 eta P into eta ln divided by R2 into R2 by R1. Okay, so we get the total equation H total is equal to pi eta omega square divided by 2H R2 raised to 4 minus R1 raised to 4 pi H plus pi H cube PS into PR divided by 6 eta P eta ln R2 by R1. Okay, so thank you for watching this video.